allegations of repeated sexual harassment and assault while on the job.
A former City of Toledo employee claims she was victimized by another employee for months. It says the city failed to investigate. I-Team reporter Christina Williams breaking down the allegations.
That employee is Elizabeth Harris. She worked for the city for a little more than a year as a violence interrupter and claims during that time she was repeatedly harassed and coerced into sex acts by her supervisor. In a lawsuit that was just filed in Lucas County Common Pleas Court, Harris is suing both the City of Toledo and her former supervisor. The lawsuit claims that supervisor, who was a man, started sexually harassing her in February of 2023 when he asked her to apply ointment to his testicles and claimed her job was at risk if she refused. Harris reported the incident to the city, and the lawsuit alleges it was not investigated. That same month, Harris claims her supervisor demanded to drive her home from work, then forcibly kissed her without her consent and proposed a sexual sister-wife relationship with him and the mother of his children. The following month, Harris was allegedly told she would lose her job if she refused to perform oral sex on her supervisor. From March through July, Harris says the threat of termination was used to coerce her into sex acts at least twice. In July, she submitted applications within the city, hoping for a transfer to a different department, but was allegedly denied. Harris also says she reported that sexual harassment to Toledo's Office of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion and Human Resources. Days later, her supervisor allegedly exposed himself to her in the office and then assaulted her. Harris reported the issue again to not one, but two supervisors. She claims she was given a phone number to a therapist, then was terminated from her job for allegedly falsifying a doctor's note. Harris is suing the City of Toledo for gender discrimination, a hostile work environment, sexual harassment, retaliation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, as well as two other charges against that supervisor. It's civil action from criminal acts, including gross sexual imposition and sexual battery. She does want her job back with the city, her personnel file expunged, and is asking for $25,000 for each claim. And we did reach out to the City of Toledo today for an update on the employment of the person accused in this lawsuit. We're still waiting for a response. Stick with 13 Action News as the I-Team works to uncover more information about what happened. Reporting for the I-Team, Christina Williams, 13 Action News. The Ohio Civil Rights Commission received a discrimination complaint from the former City of Toledo employee Elizabeth Harris in September of last year, and a case was created in October. She claims her supervisor forced her to put ointment on his testicles, coerced her into oral sex, proposed a sexual sister-wife relationship, and assaulted her allegedly while on the job. According to these new documents, Harris allegedly has recordings of the employee in question pleading for her not to report him for sexual harassment, and a recording of another supervisor dismissing her claims of assault. Harris worked as a violence interrupter for the city, and according to a lawsuit filed in Lucas County Common Pleas Court, she claims she reported the alleged harassment 4 times to other supervisors, the City of Toledo's HR department, and the Office of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion. She was fired by the city and believes it was due to gender discrimination and retaliation to those sexual harassment claims. We uncovered new information from the city. In February, the City of Toledo responded to the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, saying the allegations were without merit. They have been unable to corroborate allegations of sexual harassment and say that the employee in question denies any misconduct. There is also a claim that there's no record of a call from Harris to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office. And the city says she was fired for just cause for falsifying doctor's notes unrelated to harassment claims. The city also asked the Ohio Civil Rights Commission to dismiss the charges for a lack of probable cause. Harris is currently suing the City of Toledo and her former co-worker, who we have not named publicly since he has not been charged with a crime. You can read all of those court documents on our website, 13abc.com. Reporting for the I-Team, Christina Williams, 13 Action News.
Now turn to an I-Team follow-up. A City of Toledo employee at the center of a sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuit is off the job.
The I-Team uncovered he was fired just days before the lawsuit was filed in Lucas County Common Pleas Court. And now we're learning more about why the employee who worked as a violence interrupter with the Save Our Community sector was fired.
I-Team reporter Christina Williams has the very latest.
City documents show the male employee in question allegedly had multiple performance and behavioral shortcomings. He was placed on a performance improvement plan in October of 2022. And according to newly obtained documents explaining why he was fired from the city, there, quote, continues to be concerns about your behavior on the job and the ability to work effectively with your colleagues. Just last week, the I-Team exposed a lawsuit filed by another former City of Toledo employee who worked side by side the recently fired worker. She claims there were multiple instances of sexual harassment and assault on the job, including exposed genitalia, propositions of her becoming a sister wife, and attempts to engage in oral sex while threatening the female's employment. The City of Toledo denies those claims, stating there are no records of harassment complaints while the woman was employed with the City of Toledo. The City of Toledo put the employee named in that lawsuit on administrative leave back in March of this year after there were reports that he made commentary that might constitute a threat against the safety of others. His personnel file reveals multiple performance and misconduct reports, including witnessing a subordinate drinking on the job, leaving a city-owned vehicle unsecured in an area outside of the work zone not once but twice, and contacting the media about the Save Our Community program. The City of Toledo says that male employee, who was a violence interrupter, was fired on May 2nd of this month. As for that lawsuit accusing both the city and the former employee of sexual harassment and discrimination, a spokesperson for the City of Toledo will not provide further comment on pending litigation. Reporting for the I-Team, Christina Williams, 13 Action News.